The Essential Directorship Masterclass, Achieving Excellence at Board Level. Committees. Delegation to committees. Boards often delegate some of their functions to committees, but please remember, ultimate responsibility remains with the board. There's an Audit Committee, which is required by the London Stock Exchange. At least one member must have recent and relevant financial experience. All members should be independent non-executive directors. Large companies should have at least 3 members, small companies at least 2 members. In FTSE 350 companies, the chairman should not be a member. In others, they may be a member if they're considered independent on appointment to the chair. The Audit Committee's role is to monitor the integrity of the financial statements of the company, to review the company's internal controls and risk management systems, to monitor and review the effectiveness of the company's internal audit function, to make recommendations to the board in relation to the appointment or removal of the external auditor, to approve the remuneration and terms of engagement of the external auditor, to review and monitor the external auditor's independence and effectiveness, to develop and implement policy on the engagement of the external auditor to supply non-audit services, to review the risk situation, and to monitor risk management processes. The Audit Committee also has another responsibility. The Audit Committee should also review arrangements by which staff of the company may, in confidence, raise concerns about possible improprieties in matters of financial reporting or other matters. The Audit Committee is responsible for ensuring that there is an effective system for confidential whistleblowing. In addition, there should be a Remuneration Committee required by the London Stock Exchange. In order to avoid conflicts of interest, executive directors should not be responsible for determining their own remuneration. Therefore, the Remuneration Committee is delegated responsibility for proposing remuneration of all executive directors, including pension rights and any compensation payments. The committee should also define and monitor the level of remuneration for senior management. There should also be a Nomination Committee, once again required by the London Stock Exchange. The Nomination Committee evaluates the balance of skills, knowledge and experience of the board, as well as amongst top management, to lead the process for board appointments and make recommendations to the board. A majority of the members should be independent non-executive directors. The chair should be the chairman of the board or an independent non-executive director. The Finance Committee. The Finance Committee recommends financial policies, goals and budgets that support the mission, values and strategic goals of the organisation. It also reviews the organisation's financial performance against its goals and proposes major transactions and programmes to the board. The Finance Committee reviews and recommends capital expenditures and unbudgeted operating expenses. There may also be other committees. Boards may establish an executive committee to manage business between board meetings. If so, its powers and responsibilities should be clearly specified. In addition, a planning committee, human resources, donations, environmental compliance, health and safety, intellectual property may well be subjects for other committees. However, do beware of too elaborate a committee structure. So, coffee time exercise. A committee role could be your first opportunity for additional responsibility. Before joining a board, do inquire about the time that would be required if you were to take up a committee role. Committee membership and chairmanship could enable career development for you and allow succession planning for the board. So, on to the next video.